Hello students, welcome back to all 4 C learning classes. In the last class we are studied about the applications of Coulomb's inverse square law. So now we are continuing, okay, Coulomb's applications of Coulomb's inverse square law. See, here we have one problem. 4 charges each of magnitude q are placed at the corners of A, B, C and D of a square of side A. Then the resultant force on the charge at D. So here what is a square of side A is there. Let us consider this is a one square, okay, of side A. A, B, C, D, okay. Side of the square is A here. Now 4 charges each of magnitude q are placed at the corners. So all are positive charges plus q are placed at the corners of the square, okay. Now we need to find the resultant force acting on the charge at D. Not only D, you may calculate either A, B, C or D. Okay, here asking D. So what is these positive charges repelled by these 3 positive charges? First we should calculate the force between the 2 charges which are kept at B and D. So let it be F1. What is these positive charges repelled by these positive? So this is the direction of F1. And at the same time this charge is also repelled by the another charge kept at the point C. So what is the direction of force is again repelled by this charge, this is the direction of F2. Okay, here these 2 charges are identical charges separated by a distance A. Again here also identical charges separated by a distance A. The magnitudes of F1 and F2 are equal but they are right angles. So what is according to Coulomb's law? F1 is equals to magnitude of F1 is equals to magnitude of F2 is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 q into q, that is q square by r square. What is r here? A be the distance, a square, okay, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q square by a square. So these two are right angles to each other. Again here another diagonally opposite of another identical charge is there. So now what is the distance between A and D? According to Pythagoras theorem, the distance between A and D is root 2A. Okay. So this is the force acting on the charge q by the opposite charge is F3. So this is the direction of F3. Okay. So we know the F3 direction, but what is the magnitude is not equals to F1 and F2. Here the distance is changing. So what is F3 is equals to? Magnitude of F3 is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught charge q and q, that is q square by root 2a whole square. Can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q square by 2a square. Q square by 2a square. So if you are observing these equation, okay, these two equations we may write F3 is equals to F1 by 2. Okay, F3 is equals to F1 by 2. Okay, F1, F2 are equal magnitudes. Now first of all find the resultant of F1 and F2. So these two are right angles. How can we calculate the resultant? By using parallelogram law of vectors, we should calculate the resultant of F1 and F2. So let F12 be the resultant, 12 be the resultant of F1 and F2, F1 and F2. F12 be the resultant of F1 and F2. So what is the angle between F1 and F2 is 90 degrees. Angle between F1 and F2 is 90 degrees. F12 can be written as, according to parallelogram law of vectors, under root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos 90. But the magnitudes of F1, F2 are same. So instead of F2 we may write F1 also. So what is F12 is equals to under root of F1 square plus F1 square. cos 90 0, so 0 into something 0, that is root 2 f1 square can be written as root 2 f1. Okay, the resultant of f1 and f2 is equals to under root of 2 f1 square, which can be written as root 2 f1. We know the value of f1 here. Now if you are observing, if these two are equal magnitude and they are right angles, the resultant, the direction of the resultant of f1 and f2 is along the direction of f3, exactly bisector. So this is a direction of f12. Now f12 and f3 are in the same direction. So if two vectors are in the same direction, what is the resultant? Directly the sum of these two vectors. Angle is 0 here. So therefore the net force acting on the charge, net force acting on the charge is F net is equals to F12 vector sum of F12 plus F3. So these are in the same direction. We may write what is F12 value is root 2 F1. Root 2 F1 plus F3 value is F1 by 2. So here we may take F1 is common. If F1 is common, root 2 plus 1 by 2. So F1 value 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A square. After doing LCM, here you will get 2 root 2 plus 1 by 2. Okay. So this is a net force acting on the charge kept at the point D. Okay. So not only at the charge, at the B, at the A or at the C, the net force remains the same, which is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A square of 2 root 2 plus 1 by 2. See, once again I will repeat, 4 charges, identical charges are kept at the 4 corners. Okay, we should calculate the net force acting on the any one of the corner, not only at the D. You may take either A, B, C or whatever it may be. Okay. So first of all we should calculate the individual forces acting on the charge, okay, by the charge kept at B, C and A. So here magnitude of F1 and F2 are same direction, okay, so F1, F2 are magnitudes are same, directions are, they are perpendicular to each other. Again F3 we are calculating, okay. First we should calculate the resultant of F1 and F2, which is we got root 2 F1. And similarly we are calculating F3. And if you are observing these notations, diagram, what is the net force is the net force acting on the charge at the D is F net is equal to vector sum of F12 plus F3, which is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A square 2 root 2 plus 1 by 2. Okay. See next one. A particle of mass m carrying a charge minus q1 is moving around a charge plus q2 in a circular path of radius r. Find the time period of revolution of charge q1. Okay. See here minus q1 charge is revolving around the charge plus q2. So a positive charge plus q2 is there at the center of the circular path. This is a positive charge, and a negative charge is revolving in the circular path. A negative charge is revolving around the circular path. Okay, here this is a minus q1. In a circular path of radius r. Okay, so it may revolve, let the charge is revolving in the circular path, okay, of radius r with a linear speed v, Now this is a positive charge at the center of the circular path, a positive charge is there, here negative charge is revolving. So there is a attraction force between these two charges. What is by the Coulomb's law? The electrostatic force between these two can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2. Okay, here different magnitude of charges we may write Q1 q2 by what is the distance is equals to the radius of the circular path r square. Let us take this is equation number 1. And we know that a body revolving in a circular path or a particle revolving in a circular path means it is due to the centripetal force. So we know that already, which is studied in the first year topic. Okay. So what is here, the necessary centripetal force is provided by the electrostatic force. In this case, the necessary centripetal force is provided by the electrostatic force. What is the centripetal force? Centripetal force acting on the charge q1, that is denoted by Fc. We know that the expression for centripetal force is mv square by r. Here m is the mass of the charged particle, v be the linear speed, and r mv square by r. Okay, let us take this is equation number 2. Now the necessary centripetal force is attained by the electrostatic force. So equate equation number 1 is equal to equation number 2. Equation number 1 is equals to 2, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square is equals to mv square by r. Okay. Now what is r get cancel here, both sides r get cancel. Okay. From this equation we may write v square is equals to q1 q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught mr. Okay. From this equation may write what is v is equals to under root of q1 q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught mr. So this is a linear speed of the revolving electron, revolving charge minus q1. But here we should find the time period. What is time period? The time taken to complete one rotation is called as a time period. Now we should find time period. So what is time period? Time period capital T is equals to, in general we know that time can be written as a distance by speed. So what is the distance? The distance covered by the charged particle during the one rotation is equals to the circumference of the circle. So length of the circular path of radius r. So what is the circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. So T is equals to 2 pi r by V. Okay. That is T is equals to 2 pi r by, what is V value here? Under root of q1 q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught mr. Now here in the denominator root is there. So the 2 pi r inside the root becomes 4 pi r square under root of 4 pi square r square by q1 q2 and 4 pi epsilon naught mr comes to the numerator into 4 pi epsilon naught mr. Therefore time period T is equals to 4 into 4 16 pi square into pi cube epsilon naught mr m r square into r cube by q1 q2. Okay, this is a time period of this revolving charge minus q1. 16 pi cube epsilon naught mr cube by q1 q2. Okay. Okay, next three charges q1 q2 and q3 each of equals to q at the vertices of an equilateral triangle of side L. So what is the force on any charge due to the remaining charges? So it is same as like first one. Instead of 4 charges, here we are taking 3 charges. All are equal magnitudes. Okay. So 3 charges having equal magnitudes. Let us take this is A corner, B, C. They kept charge Q, Q and Q. So what is side of the equilateral triangle is L here. L be the side of the equilateral triangle. 3 charges are kept at the 3 vertices of an equilateral triangle. Now force on any charge. You may take either charge kept at A or charge kept at B or C. Force on any charge due to the remaining 2 charges we should calculate by using again principle of superposition. See, all are identical charges, Q, Q, Q only. So if you are calculating the force on any one of them, the other 2 charges are repelled by the third charge. For example, here we should calculate the force acting on the charge Q kept at the point A. So obviously the charge kept at the point A is repelled by the 2 charges B and C. So what is the repulsive force acting on the charge Q kept at A by the B is along this direction. Let it be F1. Now what is force acting on the charge Q? Okay, by the charge, another charge Q kept at the point C is F2. So this is also repelled. This is along the F2. Now what are 2 are QQ only separated by the distance L. Here also 2 charges Q and Q separated by the distance L. Okay. So the magnitude of F1 and F2 are equal here. Magnitude of force F1 is equals to magnitude of F2. Okay. By the Coulomb's law, what is again 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2, that is Q into Q square. And what is the distance between these 2 charges is L. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by L square. Okay. So these are the 2 forces, F1, F2, equal magnitude 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by L square. So we know the magnitudes and the directions are different here. What is the angle between F1 and F2? Here they given it is an equilateral triangle. So what is the angle here? 60 degrees. So the angle between F1 and F2 is also 60 degrees. Now find the resultant. Again by using triangle law. What is here then? Parallelogram law of vectors. F net is equals to under root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos theta. Here cos 60. Okay. Therefore what is F net is equals to under root of F1 square plus, instead of F2 again we may write F1 square plus 2F1 F2, instead of F2 again F1 cos 60. Cos 60 value is 1 by 2. Now 2 get cancelled. So the net force is equals to F1 square plus F1 square plus F1 square. That is the net force is equals to here 3F1 square under root of 3F1 square. That is F net is equals to root 3F1. Okay. Therefore F net is equals to root 3. What is F1 value? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by L square. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by L square. So this is a resultant force acting on the any one of the vertices. See, whenever we are doing the problems, okay, based on these principle of superposition, first of all we should specify the direction, whether the given charge is attracted by the remaining charges or repelled by the remaining charges. Then we know the directions. Okay, direction of F1 and F2. Then finally we should take addition net force acting on the given charge by using parallelogram law of vectors. Here only 3 charges are kept. In the first problem there we are taken 4 charges, but here 3 charges are kept at the vertices of an equilateral triangle of side L. We are calculating the net force on any charge due to the remaining charges. Now here we are calculating the net force on the charge Q kept at the point A by the remaining charges kept at the B and C. See, here the identical charges separated by the same distance. So obviously what is the magnitude of F1 and F2 are equal. According to Coulomb's inverse square law, what is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q square by L square. Okay, the net force is calculating using parallelogram law of vectors. Okay, what is the angle between F1 and F2? 60 degrees. So you will get F net is equal to root 3 F1. What is the value of F1? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q square by L square. So this is a net force. So in next one, here two identical spheres each of mass 9 into 10 power minus 4 kg are suspended by the two non-conducting strings from the same point of suspension given identical charges. Okay, we doesn't know the charge, how much charge is given, but same charge is given to these two spheres. Okay, suspending by the strings, non-conducting string of length 100 centimeters. So they repelled with certain amount of force. Then we should find out what is the charge given to these spheres. Okay, such that after repelling the strings are makes an angle 45 degrees to the vertical here. So if m is the mass of the sphere, what is mg acts vertically downwards direction. Mg acts vertically downwards direction, and the tension in the string is acts along the length of the string. Okay, so now the electrostatic, if these two are given identical charge, they repulse with each other. So electrostatic force acts along this direction. This is the direction of electrostatic force. They repelled with each other with a force Fe. Okay, now if T be the tension in the string acts along its length of the string, resolving these T into components. What is a horizontal component? This is T cos theta, and vertical component of the tension is T sin theta. Okay, so they repel, the two spheres are repelled until the length of the string makes an angle 45 degrees with the vertical. Okay, now what is T cos theta is at an equilibrium state. T cos theta is balanced by mg. T cos theta is balanced by mg, and T sin theta is equals to Fe. From these two equations, if T sin theta by T cos theta, that is tan theta is equals to Fe by mg. From 1 and 2, these two equations, T sin theta by T cos theta, T get cancelled, sin theta by cos theta is equals to tan theta, which is equal to Fe by mg. What is Fe is equals to here? Mg tan theta. And what is Fe? Electrostatic force. What is by the Coulomb's law, what is the formula? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square, which is equals to mg tan theta. Okay, now r is the distance between the two spheres, but here we doesn't know the r value. But from the diagram, if you are observing this diagram, this is a right angle triangle. From the figure we may write what is from this right angle triangle, sin 45 or sin theta is equals to opposite from this bisector to the any one of the sphere. What is the distance here we are taken? X. Sin theta is equal to x by L. X is equals to L sin theta. Therefore, what is r? R is the distance between the two spheres here, and x is a midpoint of the line joining the two spheres to the either of the sphere. So x is equals to L sin theta, r is equals to 2x, which can be written as 2L sin theta. Okay, now substitute here. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square. What is r value here? 2L sin theta whole square is equals to mg tan theta. Okay, but q1 q2 are equal, so let us take q square is equals to q square by 4 pi epsilon naught 4L square sin square theta is equals to mg tan theta. From this equation we may write q square is equal to 4 into 4 16 pi epsilon naught L square sin theta mg tan theta. Therefore, what is q is equals to under root of 16 pi epsilon naught L square sin theta mg tan theta. Okay, and we know the values here. L is 100 centimeter, which is equals to 1 meter, and we know the mass, we know the angle. By substituting all these values in this expression, you will get the charge. Okay, so this is about the today's class.